How's everybody doing? It's been a good day. It's been really fun. I love how we were all kind of weaving our energies in together and, adding the songs and the contributions and the storytelling. It's so magical when we come together and do this like we're doing today. And I just feel really excited and honored too, wanting to do more because we really want to keep these teachings, this legacy moving forward. And as you know, just starting with Lily's presentation, I mean, there's just so much more we need to know and we can work with. And so, you know, I just was really sinking in like, okay, so what's the focus for me? And we work with the moon cycles very regularly, and we have for practically a decade. And kind of thought to bring in a foundation once again, just because, you've all been coming more regularly and just having that deeper knowing. We've all gotten a chance to get a deeper knowing on the song teachings with Amma last night, and the teaching on the tobacco, that was really beautiful. Little things that when we become more intentional, it just really builds with that sincerity. And it's that sincerity that helps us in our walk with our prayer. So I'm going to touch more on the actual moons and what we're doing when we're doing ceremony in the sweat lodge. But you can use these symbols in so many ways. So I'm just excited to share just a little bit. The very first teaching in the Makawich Hakpi Wichocha is the message of the owl. And the owl is actually talked about in both the 11:11 book and in the 13:13 book. And I know everybody here has a connection with the owl, right? So we just sang the owl song to honor that energy for that first teaching that comes through in this book. My name is Hiha Tolash Dewi, this beautiful blue owl woman. This name was given to me during my first Hamadecha, when I fasted the first time, when Eagle put me on the hill. I got up into my spot on the hill and they tied me into my spot. And as they were leaving, two owls came and were hooting in the tree to welcome me in. And that was such a beautiful blessing. So when I shared that in my interpretation, a grandmother came forward and gave me that name. But Eagle knew before that. He's like, he showed me a picture of a blue owl before I went up, and I was like, gosh, this guy just knew so much about you that, you could just be in his presence. I remember the first time I met him, I was like, he can see right through me. I was like, I felt naked. I was like, who is this guy? And he intimidated me. And then we started going to ceremony and we'd be in sweat lodge. And then he'd call on me to start bringing in teachings. And I was just like, me? Like, what do I know? So it was a good push for me. And I really appreciated that because it really got me to get into the teachings and to start to work with them regularly. And we do that every time we go into ceremony. We're always working with the teachings. We're always working with the influences of the moon in the energy that we're in with it. And so I'm going to share a little bit more about what that is that we're doing as we're doing ceremony. So with the owl, the owl works with the law of light, sound, and vibration. And so the teaching of the owl is that we are circles of light. So there's light that comes from our source, our creator, the sun behind the sun, the great central sun, comes in as a circle through our crown, and it comes through our body and it moves in a circle. And then when we pray, that light moves from our body out to that source, and it comes back in through the body. So light and mystery. We are light And the body is the mystery. So this is like the void. We are the dark aspect of that influence of the circle moving. So we are always manifesting with the light through our bodies. And so when we know that, we're also working with the 13 heart lights, they call it. So the 13 heart lights are the 6 directions plus our 7 chakras. So we're lighting up our rainbow body and we're working with the 6 directions. So we've got the grandmothers behind us, the grandfathers before us, holy mothers to the left, holy fathers to the right, creator and Uchimoka, Mother Earth. And then our heart lights inside of us, our portals through our chakra system. And so this becomes that magical number of 13. So when we're working this regular cycle, we are ascending our light body through these activations to turn on all of our 13 heart lights. And so the owl says that perhaps you don't have 2 eyes, but 3, but that becomes 1. So 2 eyes become 3, and the 3 are 1. And so I learned something as I was preparing my presentation that, so Ishta Waji is the guardian of this altar. He's this MorningStar altar. These are the 3 altars that we work with. And I'm going to share a little bit about Ishta Waji because that's part of what they wanted me to share. Okay, so this is the universal law of love. And this symbol works with Ishta Waji. And I just want to invite everybody to look at the symbol. Just take a moment and connect with it. I have the wrong computer. I'm so sorry, guys. So focusing on this symbol, this opens the eye of understanding. And so I just want to invite you all to connect with that, place that symbol inside your heart. Kind of opening up that eye of understanding. And I realized that Ishta Waji is likely an owl. So 1 eye. He's a teacher, a guardian of the star laws, and servant of the creator, and calling upon the peoples to awaken their eye of understanding, a spiritual vision that allows them to perceive with pure love of the creator. The creator sees the beauty and life of the galaxy, but also recognizes the harm caused by entities who violated sacred harmony. Through divine intervention, the creator is restoring balance and harmony to the star relations, offering humanity the gift of spiritual sight. 1 eye urges the peoples to go beyond physical perception, entering a state of meditation and silence to connect with the creator's messages and truths. The star laws residing within each being's sacred library guide humanity to demonstrate sacredness in the world. By focusing on the measure of truth, pure, single, and spiritual vision, individuals align with the creator's love and perceive their sacred path. Through this awakening, the eye of the creator shines from within the heart, revealing love, wisdom, and the vision of the sacred path. As foretold by the ancients, this inner awakening allows humanity to perceive the creator and walk in the silence of love, guided by wisdom of the heart into the mystery of creation. 1 eye blesses the peoples with a vision of truth, love, and sacred awakening. So that's Ishta Waji and the eye of understanding and the guardian of these star laws. And so this is part of his message as well. O peoples, walk in the silence of love, according to the wisdom of the heart, and into the mystery of Creator's face shall your one eye perceive. I am one eye, here to bless the peoples with the vision of truth, with the vision of love, and with the vision of sacred awakening. So we're calling this waking up with the morning star. And so here you'll see these are the 3 altars that we work with this star altar that Chief Golden Light Eagle has been teaching for the last 30 years. And here you'll see these symbols around the circle here. These are the 12 moons that we work with throughout the year. And our year started just now, like we're starting a new cycle. So the first new moon, or the new moon before the winter solstice, starts the new cycle that we get to work with these 12 cycles, these moon cycles, to do that ascension work, working with the 1111 symbols. So you'll see the 1111 symbols here that we work with for the 12 moons. And then in here, you see 6 symbols here. And this altar here works with the days of the week. And in the center, you have the 4 seasons. So Amos talked a little bit about it too. And in the middle, you'll see a symbol, and it's called the Anta Karana. And something really cool about the Anta Karana, I talked with Chief about this once upon a time, and it's not like Anta Karana. It's not one word. It's A, Ta, Ka, Ra, Na. And they each have their own teaching, their own massive energy that they all hold. And so it's this beautiful, I'm learning a lot about it, but when I realized like
between bodies, Anta Karana, between bodies.
Right. Yeah, there's and I have more information about that toward the end because I'm still learning about it, but just in terms of like star knowledge, when I saw Ah, because AN is the teaching of Ah, because the N is silent. So the teaching of Ah is the owl. And so I wanted to bring that influence in as sort of like an initiator, because the light, sound, and vibration is how we manifest. It's the law of attraction. And so everything that you see in these altars here all lead to that center, the Anta Karana. And that is the heart moon. That's the 13th moon. It's also the 7th day of the week. And it's the center pole that we're dancing around as we're doing the seasons. And so each moon, we're working with those on a monthly basis. And these are your 7 days of the week. And you've got light, sound, and vibration, intuition, judgment, karma, nature, and protection. Thank you. So these aren't really in the right order, I don't think, in this graphic here. But when we're doing this work on this 7 days of the week, you can see we're activating a Merkaba. So we're activating our light body on a weekly basis. So 7 days of the week for the 28 days of that moon cycle, there's a lot going on here when we're connecting with these symbols and working with these teachings. And then here we've got the seasons, and I'll talk about that in just a second. So the dance with the sacred 1111 golden love trinity, altars within altars, circles within circles, holy vortex of love and healing. Walk the circular symbol way, co-create in the dance of natural time, and in ceremony with the stars, anchor golden love light on Mother Earth. So each year in sacred ceremony awakens the star altars of the altar of the morning star. So this is the morning star altar. So this outer ring here depicts the star altar of humanity. We got the 13 moons. The star altar of Holy Boy is those 7 days and nights of the week here. And the star altar of Creator, those 4 seasons here. Everything dancing around that center pole, the heart. So everything starts and ends with our heart. So these teachings are teaching us how to live in our heart, with our heart open, with all this wisdom and all of this support. And it takes a lot of work to do the ascension work. And so that's why we do the moons. That's why we work with these. So in 13 moons, we circle the base of the sacred time teepee, anchoring galactic rainbow light of the 1111 laws of creation, anchoring the star altar of humanity on Mother Earth. And in 7 days of prayer and meditation, we open the physical body and light up our Merkaba, our inner stars that make up our own external light body. And that is the star altar of Holy Boy. So with Sunday, it's light, sound, and vibration. That is the owl. So Sundays I use Sunday as my day to make intentions and work with that law of attraction. So I pray on Sunday to set my week ahead of me in a good way for what I want to have, what I want to experience in that coming week. Monday, it's intuition. It's Otter Day. Tuesday, we're working with judgment, and that is the rattlesnake. Thursday is nature. We're working with the deer. So I call Thursday Deer Day. And, it's the power to be. The heart teaches us about the heart, the power to be and to never give your heart away. So Thursday is a kind of a good day to just be like checking with your heart, and is it open? Do you need to send some love to somebody? You can send people, chakra energy and send them rainbow light and, blast open their hearts too. Friday, that is the day of protection, and that is Elk Day. We've been doing ceremony a lot on Fridays. So we're doing a lot of work with the elk. And the elk is just a beautiful teacher. We've talked about how Chief Golden White Eagle started off as black elk or standing elk, excuse me. And the elkways work really fast. So we typically, sometimes lodges on Friday can go really fast because it just moves quick. And I was going to say something else about the elk. Oh yeah, just, really want to honor our men because they're our protectors. And, especially in lodge when we're singing and our men are singing, I really feel that beauty of that protection so that I can relax into my femininity and just know that I'm supported and I can rest and let my heart be open without having to, push. So Saturday is that day of unity. So that symbol, that Antakarana, that's the unity symbol. And so in those 4 seasons, so we're starting winter today. And in 4 seasons of star ceremony, we circle the sun, instilling the light of the star altar of Creator, the dance with the one, the dance of the heart. And so right now we're in winter, it's healing, the energy of healing, and we're working with the ladybug. Had a really interesting experience one night. I was out with dinner, we had dinner with Chief and we were driving home and I'm like, I need to go home and I need to read the message of the ladybug and Shekinah. And I don't know, it just popped in. So I get home, I walk in the door, I grab my book, and all of a sudden, the entire block goes into blackout. Like power off everywhere, completely black. And it was such a trip because you read the teachings of the ladybug and Shekinah, and they don't want any technology on. They don't want nothing. And it was just like, poof. Okay. So these energies are powerful. And when they knock on your door, listen to them. Take the time to go read it, or, research it, or reach out and ask, excuse me. So then in the springtime, we're working with perception, and that is tate. So the wind, the dragons, fire. And love is in the summertime. So the summer of love, we're working with the energy of the teachings of love with red man. So Vichasha Luta, the red man. And red man is somebody that I've worked with my son, Blaze, because he works with life transitions. And so when Blaze was kind of, moving out of his little toddler age into more of a older, not a kid, but, he was approaching puberty, that time. I asked red man to come in and help Blaze with that transition. Now he's a teen, and I still work with Vichasha Luta. I ask him to please help Blaze on his journey as he's making these transitions. And then in the autumn, we're working with future sight, and that's with Thoth. So those are those symbols here in the middle. So for these star altars and galactic rhythms of a sacred trinity, divine flames of love and light and peace of the sacred heart that spring from the four sacred fires of the inner heart directions. So unity, harmony, truth, and freedom. And those happen to tie in with our upper chakras. So we talked about those essences, love, light, peace, unity, harmony, truth, and freedom. Those activate through our chakra system. Love, light, peace, unity, harmony, truth, and freedom. So unity, harmony, truth, and freedom. So we're opening up that 13th door again. We got chopped off with the 12. It's like chopping us off from the crown up. So, that's what I love, is that the number 13 is opening up the crown, getting us our freedom back. So, so these are those 12 moons with the heart moon. That's the 13th moon. And every so often, the timing with the actual Gregorian calendar will line up so that we can have and work with a heart moon. I think it's maybe every 4 or 5 years. I'm not really sure. We haven't had one in a few years. And this year is not one of those years. So here we are, starting the cycle, the dance with the 12 of the 13, star altar of humanity, 13 moons of awakening. So the buffalo. And there are so many layers to how to work with these symbols. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on all those layers, but I want to just kind of give you a sense of what I'm doing when I'm pouring lodge, and Brian are pouring lodge, because I pour on the new moons. The new moon is the feminine aspect of the moon cycle. So I pour on the new moon and the first quarter, so that feminine. And then Brian comes in and he pours on the full moon and the last quarter, the masculine. So we've been doing this masculine and feminine balance for quite some time, and it's been really beautiful. So when I open lodge on the new moon, we open up the stargate that we work with for that moon cycle. So with the buffalo, we're in the stargate of purity. So when I'm saying stargate, these are actually virtues. So they're clues for you to help you to navigate the energy for that month. So a stargate is a portal, and it's a virtue. So it's signaling to us with purity. Okay, this is the time to cleanse. So we're cleaning out anger, resentment, jealousy, judgments, anything that is like a separation from our divine. And it's the spiritual protection of family that we work with for that month, for the buffalo moon. So with purity, we're discussing what that is a little bit when we're in ceremony. Like, so, what do we need to purify ourselves of? Giving ourselves an opportunity to tune in. Like, am I holding some judgments right now? Am I angry? Jealousy, whatever. It's an opportunity to really acknowledge it so that we can move it out. Because every moon comes with a test. And the test for this moon is your sincerity and devotion to your spiritual path. Judgments, resentments, jealousy, anger, that energy blocks our devotion because we're stuck thinking in our minds and we're not in our heart. So it's a good time to let that stuff go, open up the heart. Purity, purity, purity. So with the grandfather's moon, stargate of wisdom. Whale moon, stargate of knowledge. Eagle moon, stargate of renewal. Butterfly, stargate of healing. Tree moon, stargate of truth. Turtle moon, stargate of enlightenment. Firefly moon, stargate of innocence. Corn moon, stargate of silence. Bear moon, stargate of introspection. Spider moon, stargate of purification. And the grandmother's moon is the stargate of reverence. So we're opening up these portals, these virtues, and they're really layered. They're really layered teachings, and so we like to work with that when we go in for that initiation of that moon cycle. And we're also bringing in what's the test of this month. There's a DNA activation point in your body, and I'll talk a little bit more about that too. But I just wanted to kind of just bring in a little more awareness, like what we can actually be intentional about when we walk into ceremony, and let that work in us for that whole cycle, for those 28 days. So like, with the grandfather's moon and wisdom, you earn wisdom through walking your talk and living what you know and being in integrity and having respect for yourself. Universal law of free will. The whale moon, that stargate of knowledge. I have found over the past few years, like the whale moon it's very karmic. It's the karmic clearing month. And we've drawn in some really intense experiences during the whale moon. As a Tayoshpaye, as individually, like one person will come in and literally bitch slap you as the ultimate mirror for what you need to heal. And for me, 2 years in a row, it was the bully. The bully. And I usually call the whale moon like the dark night of the soul.
Is that the next one after Jeff?
Yeah, it's in 3 months. So, but that's what's cool. This is what's cool. Like, yeah. So it's coming, right? It's coming. So we can prepare for it.
Yeah.
And we can set intentions around it. We can pray around it. We can pray for ease and grace, or show me in a gentle way, or bring me somebody that will counterbalance that mirror, show me the love and the light and whatever else I need to know to heal.
Just knowing the potential of getting rocked is enough just to be a little more on guard. So it's
just help you open your heart more to receive that rocking from a heart stance,
Yeah, and it's ascension, right? Like we need to be pushed. We need to have our butts kicked. What's that? Well, the whale moon is fun because you're activating in all your gifts, all your sacred gifts. Like the whales bring so much to us that, it's like a full light up.
but they go to the depths.
Yeah, they go to the depths and they come in and they're
excited for the hard lesson.
So I don't mean to like tout the whale moon. It is a beautiful time because
No, it is. It's just, you gotta hold your breath a little.
Yeah.
As you're going deep.
That's just my own personal experience, but I know some of you experienced it alongside me. Okay, so like for the eagle moon, we're working with renewal. We're renewing ourselves back to nature and back to love. It's the heart feeling that we have to work through. So recognizing where we might be off course, renewing relationships. So let's just say the whale moon kicked your ass and, you know, you lost a friend or you had a blowout with a family member. Okay, well, guess what? You get a chance to renew that relationship. And that's working with the universal law of symmetry. And then we move into that butterfly moon, the healing. This is that time, it's another deep cleansing time. And it also gives us an opportunity to move through things really fast. Because when we invoke butterfly medicine, we can move it quick. And there's so much more we can share about all of these things. I'm just giving you a little touch of what these stargates are really reflecting to us that we can work with. You know, the tree moon, that truth. So it's like one man's lie is another man's truth, and one man's truth is another man's lie. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, it's like, what is truth? What is your truth? Your truth might not be my truth, but the real truth comes through the heart. That's the teaching. It's what you feel. Spiritual law of equality. And then the turtle moon of enlightenment, you know, to learn what enlightenment is to kind of be as a child again. We watch children, and watching little Ira, everything he sees and touches makes him happy, right? Usually. So, you know, it's like getting a chance to go back into that inner child again and remembering what makes you happy. Waking that up again. Enlightenment. Enlightenment is the highest frequency, emotional frequency. So when we are in enlightenment, we are active, we're buzzing. And that's a powerful place to be. It feels good. It's fun. So the firefly moon is the month of innocence. So again, we're kind of going into that inner child place again, going back to the time where we lost our innocence. That moment when somebody came to you when you were young and said, that is not okay. That is wrong. You're bad. It's like, okay, all right. We all have those wounds. They're all shadow beliefs. So that's a really beautiful time to, you know, check in. What's your shadows? You know, with, I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy. You'll see yourself being triggered into those wounds, usually during that moon. But again, the firefly is reminding us that we are so lit up. We have the ability to shine bright. So when we do the work, we can shine. The corn moon is the stargate of silence. This is reflecting to us that the space between the words are the loudest. So being in the silence to give yourself an opportunity to really hear Creator and what you're creating. Yeah, silence is where God exists. That's part of the teaching as well. So in the bear moon, we're in that gate of introspection. This is kind of like doing an inspection. Introspection, inspection. Going inside, where are you out of balance with physical, mental, spiritual, emotional? Cleaning up some of those imbalances. That's working with the spiritual freedom of man. So when we can get ourselves balanced again, we feel free. We can move. We're active. We're not stuck. The spider moon. Why do I call it spider moon every time? The spider moon. Huh. Purification. So that helps us open our hearts. And that allows us to open our minds to the sacredness of the body. The teaching talks about, you know, our greatest protection is keeping our heart open. How many people believe that? Good. Keep your heart open. It is your greatest protection. the grandmother's moon, reverence. And it's like, okay, when was the last time I was reverent? And this law gets us connected with nature. Strength, health, and happiness. It's that deep love for nature. And I was reflecting on nature a little bit because, you know, when I was like, okay, I got to get back to nature, I got to get back to nature. And I'm like, get your ass outside. Well, yeah, there's that, getting back to nature. But with these symbols, with these laws, I mean, we're working with these animals, except for the grandfathers and the grandmothers. There's some kind of animal. But just like, okay, so the buffalo moon, you know, connecting with what is the energy of a buffalo? And I spent some time kind of looking at that a little bit. And, you know, the buffalo, they don't run from the storm, they run into the storm. They are fearless, they're strong. And, you know their survival depends on getting through the storm, not avoiding it. You know, so you can activate getting back to nature by looking at what's the energy I'm working with and applying that to maybe developing a behavior or a characteristic, or, you know, calling in strength through that energy of the buffalo.
It works.
I'm using it right now. And then, you know, with the heart moon, that is the that's love, that's the unity. You know, truth comes from the heart. So, and that is also the Antakarana again. And hopefully you can help tune up my teaching around the Antakarana a little bit. Excuse me. So, because, you know, there's so many things we could talk about and share, I just want to kind of just tune into like what's happening right now, because we're in it right now. Said it several times. It's the first moon, it's the buffalo moon. We're in spiritual protection of family, you know, good time to nurture your family. Things are coming up around family. It's Christmas time. Oh boy. You all got to witness my dark night of the soul last night. Some of you that were there last night, going through it with my mom. And it's real, you know. And so I'm really like looking at purity, because it's triggering me big time. Judgment, resentment, all of it. And it's all coming up for a reason. So I'm able to use this symbol to help me work through this stuff, so I can get back into that love with my family again. So the test, yeah, the sincerity and devotion to spirit path. And if you want to, if you're musically inclined, or you like to chant, or what's the other one? Tone. You can work with the key of C. That is an activation point within the body as well. And so a DNA activation point comes into the body every single moon cycle. And with the buffalo moon, the activation point comes in with the earth into the big toe. So really good time to get barefoot and put your feet in the dirt on the ground, because we're starting this new cycle and we need to be grounded. We need to be anchored. And the big toe is the cave that goes into Mother Earth and connects with her heart, the heart of Mother Earth. And it also activates the pineal gland. When we put our big toe in the dirt, it's activating our third eye, believe it or not. And then our quarter moons. So the quarter moons, we're working with the 1313 influences. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, because there's just so much we could explore with that. Other than we're in, so the first dimensional yin energy of this moon cycle. So the first quarter was with Mir, and that we were working with the butterfly, I'm sorry, the hummingbird. Again, it's a teaching around making the impossible possible. You look at a hummingbird and you're just like, how are they doing that? You know, they literally make it look impossible. But it's, you know, such a good mirror for us to realize, okay, they can do something that cool and crazy, so can I. And right now, we are in the energy of Ra. So there again, the Anta Karana. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but this is the energy of the house of Ra, the fire, the phoenix. And it's a masculine, that's the masculine influence. So Brian may have more to share on that. So maybe. So here we are, universal law of unity, the Antakarana. You see that in all three altars. And I have this little bit that says, now then, in this way of the Antakarana, so many things can be said, this tree man is saying. And unto this, these powers, they are here and acknowledging this circle and the many circles and the center pole round which these circles dance. So that's just a tiny little bit from that teaching. So the Antakarana embodies the journey and connection between the house of Ah and the house of Ra, integrating the divine source with divine illumination through the foundational aspects of grounding spirit and unity. This synthesis offers a comprehensive framework for understanding the interconnectedness of various spiritual concepts and the path toward higher consciousness. So I had some fun just kind of learning a little bit about the Antakarana. You know, it's describing it as this bridge of consciousness, connecting the individual self with the higher realms, facilitating the journey from the physical to the spiritual. It embodies the path of the spiritual ascension and the integration of various aspects of being. So we have Ah, the divine light source, Ta, foundation or grounding, Ka, spirit or life force, Ra, the light or illumination, and Na, flow or unity. So I just thought that was pretty cool. So these are in the 1313 book. If you would like to read more about them, I brought my book with me. This is a lot of information, and I feel like I've filled everybody up a little bit already. I'm kind of down this little cool rabbit hole learning about the Antakarana.
Well,
Give it to us.
I'll just add one thing.
Sorry, what?
I said, give it to us.
I can, yeah, this is like a synopsis of House of Ra.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, in the Antakarana, it's beautiful to relate it to the Egyptian, like you're doing, Egyptian concept. But I mean, even just reading it recently. So, and then it has 3 strands, right? For the first 3 rays, which is the same as the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, which is knowledge, love, and will, power. So that all 3 have to be, it's just like RGB and everything is based on this. Like none of them can be out of balance or more imbalanced in order for it to be effective. But the one other thing I wanted to say was that the human race as a whole has an Antakarana that is being built, especially now at this time, like unlike at any point in history. And so this is what's really monumental in our future. And just to concentrate on this, just to visualize it, wow, the human race is like a being, is one thing, is like the Christ. The Christ is another word for the soul of the human race. And that human race is like ascending. Like this whole awakening, the Great Awakening, this whole age of Aquarius, it's all related to this cosmic Antakarana. Okay, that's it.
Cool, thanks. Do you guys want me to read this about the House of Ra? It's like a little summary of, and that's the energy that we're in, the 1313 energies right now. Okay. So House of Ra. This message discusses teachings from the Wahokbi, the spiritual beings from Rigel, the house of Ra, connected to the earth's and ancient history and humanity's DNA. These beings are guiding a transformation toward a new civilization on earth based on the sacred seven, which integrates spiritual principles of balance and creation. So these key points include sacred knowledge of balance. The teachings emphasize uniting the three-sided spiritual aspects with the four-sided material aspects to achieve mastery, healing, and prophecy. The breath of fire and the phoenix of great light are metaphors for awakening inner potential and aligning with creation's directions. So keys to the human transformation with water. It represents clarity, purification, and the dream time connection. Fire, symbolizing inner purification, shifting from physical to spiritual existence and embodying the eternal. Breath refers to practicing energy flow through the orbit of the stars, harmonizing body, mind, and spirit with light and life forces. And these three guides with Rigel, Anatapu, connected to an ancient pyramid yet to be discovered. A teacher of awe, wisdom that's currently active, and a being in stasis in China, spiritually linked to the stars. I'm guessing is a giant. So the message invites humanity to embody these principles and integrate global ancient teachings and align with the light for spiritual evolution. These are many teachings from around the world that are all coming together, they say, because this is realized from the ancient teachings of awe on owl. Cool. Oh, and I did bring, this is and it's actually short, so I can read this too. So awe works with resurrection, the spiritual law of resurrection. The spiritual way of resurrection, the sacred owl nation is here bringing messages of where life meets death and becomes life again, and also of the greater universes, the within places. The house of awe, the Andromedan people, the lightning clown and many faces, and many, many that come from these nations of the stars, the twin universe, mirror reflected here. And from the place of all new beginnings, the formless that has form within it, a playground and creativity within the child's mind, even the child of God. This one, Chawikawachasha, the two trees man, sacred tree man, is sending the energy, a golden light, like a flowing river, streams of the little falls, down into through this space into the earth and brightening this symbol here, the awe. And at this time, these relatives again open the book, open a pathway to a little bit more of this way of on. And at this time, we invite more messages through the way of resurrection. So this is literally indicating that there is a lot more work to do. It's inviting us into stepping in more ceremony, more time with these symbols. There's a lot to reveal.
10 minutes.
And then I wanted to, if it's on here, nope. Darn it. I didn't have a chance to put it on this slide, but you can see it on this computer here. This is another rendition of what you could call the MorningStar altar. And this includes the 1313 symbols around, as well as the goddess symbols. You know, we started working with the goddess symbols on the new moons as well. And so Linda Ivory, she's one of our Star Knowledge ambassadors as well. She created this graphic. It's really cool, really cool. I wish I could make it bigger and show you.
Maybe we can put the dates of the moons on there and print them off.
Yeah, you definitely could. Definitely. All right. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share today. And given that we're all gathered and, you know, we just have spent some time together building the energies and learning a lot about these starways and creating a lot of high vibrational love energy. One of the things that Chief cherished the most when we would do events was the opportunity to take advantage of being in this group setting and do ceremony. So if you're open, we can do another kind of round of ceremony and work with the energies of the rebirth, you know, the Pleiadian energy that's coming forth right now, the death and rebirth. So I just made this one little note for myself: ceremony of rebirth. It's a celestial alignment. The Pleiades is visible during the solstice season, providing guidance through the darkness. Pleiades is the higher wisdom and enlightenment. Solstice is renewal and rebirth. And together they offer a bridge between star wisdom and earthly transformation. So we could set a goal to honor the darkness, to release the old and welcome the light of renewal. So if everybody would like to have that focused intention.
Repeat that.
So it's to honor the darkness, release the old, and welcome the light of renewal. So it's kind of like a dusting off. And then we get all bright and shiny.
What's like what's happening on the planet with all the spaceships showing up everywhere and in such abundance? We see this happening.
What do you think? Okay. Thank you, everybody.